Hey everyone, this is Caroline. Thanks for joining me today. We are doing a live clearing session. For those who are new, you can go back on my YouTube channel and you can see all the different clearing sessions that we've done live. And the topics in the beginning were focused on depression, on anxiety, how to deal with this whole situation. But honestly, with at this point, I'm just open to whatever comes in, whoever wants to bring in the topic. And so we have volunteers who want to do this live with you. And the idea is, even though you may not be directly concerned with their particular situations, for example, you can't relate or that doesn't really concern you. But what happens is you can actually get the healing that you need because of, without getting all the technicalities, through entanglements, through our our connection. Whatever happens here can also be applied to you. So, and in fact, today it's interesting because I have someone who wants to actually work on someone else. This is called surrogate healing, and so what happens is that sometimes we are dealing with a person who is extremely sick, or for example, a child who's not aware, or for example, sometimes I deal with autistic children, so they cannot communicate, or also severely handicapped children. And so how do you do energy healing on them if they cannot communicate? So usually I work with the mother, or whoever, usually it is the mother, and she acts as the conduit, the surrogate. So there are different ways to do that. For those who are really interested in understanding how that works, I've developed different ways and methodologies to do that, because sometimes we really want to help someone and they can't help themselves. And so sometimes people ask me the question, but wait, don't they have free will? Should they not have a say in the matter? And what happens is that when you do that healing and they're not aware, they still have their higher consciousness. They're still connected to the unified field that we're all connected to. And so they still receive the healing on that level. And on that level, they can tell that this energy is coming through. And if they don't want it, they will block it. So I wouldn't be too concerned with the free will issue. In fact, this happened to me many times. That's why I know for a fact that that's how it works. So sometimes I would work with children who, again, cannot communicate or what have you. And so I would do a healing, and at one point, and they would be receptive. So they are kind of absorbing the information, even though it's going through the mother. But at one point, I feel like that's it. I feel like kind of a sense of not rejection, kind of like pushing back whatever energy I'm sending in. And so that's how you know that, and this happened many times, that's why I can tell you for a fact that even if you're working on someone and they're not aware, of what you're doing, their higher self, their higher consciousness knows exactly what's going on, and they will stop you if it's not aligned with them. So there's that. And also there are different ways to do surrogate healing. So again, for those who are interested and serious about understanding how it works, go to my website, carolinecory.com, go to the Healers Program. One of the sessions is specific on how to do a surrogate healing. So for example, if I'm working with a mother, so I can tap into the information of the child through the mother, because everything is information. So her consciousness is holding the information of the child. So And what I mean by information, it's the whole consciousness of the child that I can find through the mother. And so she's really out of the picture in a way. And I'm just going directly to, tapping into the child through her consciousness in this way. Or I can totally bypass the mother and I can go directly to the child, which is very easy actually for me to do because we do that all the time. So it's as if the mother wasn't there. But what's the point of her being there? Even though we're trying to work with someone who is not there or who cannot communicate, the people around them are still connected to that energy, and people don't realize how, I mean, I'm sure they do, but when somebody in your family is struggling, whether it's an illness, a physical illness, or a mental problem, schizophrenia or something like that, or an addiction, alcoholics, and you can imagine how the people around you that are connected to you are being affected, not just psychologically, like you watching the person struggle and suffer. Of course, that's psychological, but energetic, meaning I am absorbing, being in the same environment as that person. I am absorbing that information into my cells as well. So that's why the people in the same family end up being very, very affected. And then they have to, affected energetically, even on a cellular level. And then they have to work through that as well, because it starts to add to what the child is going through. So, for example, the mother feels bad, feels depressed because of the child, and so the mother is now accumulating this energy of worry, of concern, of frustration, even or feelings of, oh, I'm not doing enough for my kid or whatever. All of these feelings are not only affecting her, but they're adding to what the child is going through. So what I'm saying is, even in surrogate healing, you are working with that, that third person, but you are also assisting the dynamic between the two, because that it's not just a person's problem, but it's also the connection between everybody else, and usually the mother or whoever, the person that's coming forth to asking for help, is because they're struggling with it as well. I mean, that's the point. They're saying, I want to help my child, but at the same time, they need to help themselves as well. So we'll see what comes up. I recommend that you use this session today to maybe work through someone else's problem. I'm sure, I can guarantee you have at least a sibling, you have a parent, you have a child, you have someone in your family, or as friends that is struggling with something. And so, like I said, even working on them, it helps you as well. So I recommend that you use this session to be the surrogate for someone else's healing. So take a moment to, no matter what the topic is. So today we're going to talk about whatever the topic is for this person, but you could be the surrogate for, again, a friend who's an alcoholic, or a mother who's, who has a mental issue or a physical issue or whatever. So take a moment to focus on or choose one person that you feel needs help right now, and focus on that person and ask to be the conduit, the surrogate for them, so that they receive the healing, but also that you benefit from that, the shifting of that dynamic as well. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to bring on, hi, Jessica.
Yes.
I was looking for your name. Hey, Jessica. Can you say hi? I
Hi.
don't. Oh, here we go. Okay, great. All right, Jessica. So we talked briefly. You told me that you want to do this session for your mother. So tell us a little bit about what the problem is.
My mom has stage 4 lung cancer. I'm really not sure if it's the cancer or the smoking, because it is an addiction. She can't quit smoking. Um, it's killing her. I and I've been working, trying to come to terms with it for myself, because I know that I can't do anything for her. I can only heal me. And addiction runs rampant through our family. So I think addiction is what needs to be healed here. I don't know. It's a guess. I love her very much. She's a matriarch of our family. Uh, not doesn't drink, doesn't have any other issues. We love her dearly. We want her around, but she just won't let go of the cigarettes.
Right. All right. So the addiction is, the root cause of the physical problem. Obviously, we don't need to, you know, we know for a fact that cigarette addiction leads to, I mean, typically to lung cancer or mouth or whatever. And so we're not discovering anything here. But what I want to know is that the idea, first of all, to heal something is you have to go back to the root cause. You have to go back to the root cause. Of course, the more it accumulates over years and years and years, she's stage 4 cancer. That's pretty advanced. She's not like she just found out. And
No,
lung, sorry?
no, I mean, you're right. She was in remission 2 years ago and she was doing fine. And 2 months ago, it was like all of a sudden 4 tumors were like at the root of her lung junction and her heart. It's like all of a sudden there's 4 huge tumors suffocating her when there were none 6 months ago.
Right.
So I just trying to talk to her about, it's an emotional healing, mom. We need to work on this. It's not really, I'm the only one who's into this in my family.
Yeah.
Um, have a lot of physical issues myself and just have a neurological disability. So through having that issue, I worked really hard to find answers. And I came across you and the
Okay.
books and the Omnia method, and I just feel like it's the answer. And I don't know if the bottom line is I think I just need to work on me after this. I know that's important. Uh, but
Well, so that's
for
what I
right
was saying. Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. We're you're working on yourself as you're working on her. But again, the Omnia method, again, the reason why so many people clear their tumors or whatever, and then they get sick again or whatever it is, because which is great, but it's still kind of a band-aid. They haven't really addressed the root cause, meaning, oh, not like, oh, when I was 12, my dad left the house and I felt abandoned. That's like the personal history root cause. I'm talking about even before that. Before, what is it in you that created said it's okay for me to start smoking? Because again, an addiction is a form of self-destruction, because the human is conditioned or is programmed to thrive, to evolve. So anything that doesn't allow the cells to thrive, then is a form of course, it's unconscious. I mean, if it's conscious, we wouldn't be having this conversation. So
or
yeah,
yeah.
exactly. So the point is, unless you go back to the root cause in your subconscious mind that created this problem in the first place, it will never go away. And so, or it will go away, but then it'll come back, or it'll come back in a different part of your body and things like that. So that's the bottom line. And then how does this information, this root cause, manifest itself? without getting the technicalities and all the science or whatever, but everything is a frequency. So everything is a form of energy. Okay. So of course we know the physical body is an energy, whatever, but my thoughts, as I'm thinking, I am emitting an energy form that we call thoughts. Of course, nobody can measure it, but it does
Right.
have a measurable effect. In fact, I demonstrated this in the film Superhuman. So I'm thinking and I'm having emotions. So I'm emitting frequencies, like I feel abandoned, I feel sad, I feel blah, blah, blah. And so as a child, I am sending out these frequencies, even though you don't see them, but they're there. So where are they going? The fact that you're emitting, you're like like a radio, you're emitting this information, but you're talking to yourself when you say, I'm not good enough, I'm a failure, and I feel abandoned. You're talking to yourself. So you
Yeah.
are emitting these thoughts and beliefs and feelings to you.
I
Okay.
was just
And yeah. And even if, like, sometimes, how you're so angry at someone, and then, like, you think you're telling, you're rehearsing all the stuff you
yeah.
want to tell them, right? But they're not there, so you're still kind of telling yourself what you want to say. So you're still talking to yourself. And so, again, science is not even close, but there's a lot of evidence already that when you have this thought, it goes back into your cells, period.
Which are
Because you're,
either making you healthy or sick, right? Can it make
sorry?
it, our thoughts are making us sick, right?
Exactly. Your thoughts and your emotions, because that's a form of expression. Okay.
Okay.
And the emotions trigger the thought and the belief system. For example, my father left when I'm 12 or whatever. I feel abandoned. It's a feeling. Okay. But that I feel abandoned, I feel sad. Those feelings accumulate. And then after a while, it brings me a thought like, wait, if I am sad and if I am um, abandoned, I come to the conclusion that I wasn't important enough for my dad to stick around. So now
Right.
it's thought, not to, it's a belief system. I am not good enough to be loved. That's another belief system. You see? So the emotion, the interaction with the physical world gives us those emotions that translate eventually, piling up these emotions, translate into thoughts and pattern. And where do they go? In the subconscious mind. And so inside your cells, and it will normally go to your point of weakness, to your organ that is the weakest. Okay. So that's the reason why you could do all the band-aid you want, like, hey, saying, I feel better now, or I can heal. You can say all these things now, but that doesn't delete everything you've said before.
Right. Okay. Okay.
Does
Which is
that make
heavy.
sense?
There's so much in there that was negative and said before. It's hard. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
But it's important that you understand the principle and how you need to work through this. Okay. So, having said that, because it's such an advanced case, it's stage 4, it's cancer, it's the lungs. The lung is probably the worst. I don't want to scare you, but because usually when the cancer is contained within an organ, it's almost like easier, because you could take out that organ or whatever, that piece. But in the lungs, it's like kind of, it's open and it's harder. And so again, I'm just saying it as it is, but let's see what we can do. Okay. But the point is, so it's already, even though we need to go back to the root cause, but when you're dealing with a case that is so advanced, you can't just address that. Like, the momentum is so strong. The cells have already been programmed for years and years and years and years and years. So now the cells have this information for so long. So all of a sudden, if we tell the cells, no, you don't have this information because we're going to take it out of you, they're still kind of like so programmed. Plus, they've accumulated chemically all kinds of stuff. So now you also have to address chemically. You have to, so you have, what I'm saying is, in order for something to be effective, even at a very advanced case, you have to address it from all perspective. I'm saying because it's an advanced case. If it was like she just found out, I tell you, we can clear it energetically, just like that.
Right.
But the momentum, the physiological momentum is so great that we want to do that. But at the same time, we also want to do all kinds of chemical support. Make sense?
Okay.
So, by the way, just FYI, I have helped people clear stage 4 cancer before. Okay. So I cannot claim anything. I cannot, because you know how it is out there. So this is not new to me. And I'm just trying to say that it is possible. Is it possible with your mother? I don't know. We're going to look at it right now. But I just want you to at least have the perspective or the outlook that it's not so crazy. It is possible. But let's see if it's possible with what is possible with your mother at this point. Okay?
Okay.
All right,
I'm
here we go.
willing to do whatever it takes.
Sorry?
I'm willing to do whatever it takes.
Okay. So today, though, I want to make sure we are focusing on your mother because I know that you have your issues as well with that. But as we are doing the clearing, I will be telling you, repeat after me. I ask to release the thought and belief, blah, 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 blah. So you will be repeating it, but you're actually doing it for her. Okay. Once in a while, I will bounce back to you. I will say, well, now for Jessica, I ask to release this because that particular thing is also connected to her and affecting her. Does that make sense?
Oh,
so that's how we're,
yeah.
so that's
totally.
how we're,
okay.
That's how we're going to work. And, I want to thank you for doing this because I feel you are representing so many people, whether, it's an addiction. And by the way, also another thing, just to give you hope, that we've cleared people even just doing my workshop live, but also just doing the sessions on my website, which are recordings. They're not even live. People have cleared addictions from alcohol, from cigarettes.
Actually, I quit smoking a year ago. So, yeah.
Yeah. And so what I'm saying is possible. In fact, this story was one of the most striking one that happened. I'll just tell you real quickly because it's, as I'm speaking, I'm hoping that it's helping you and others see what's possible, with this methodology. In fact, that was one of the first very, very striking example. I remember it was in France, I think. We did this workshop on addiction. And this girl had been smoking for 20 years, like 2 packs a day for like 20 years. So it's not like just, occasional. And then when we did the clearing, she went outside to smoke. Right. And all of a sudden she felt nauseous and she felt like she couldn't even swallow, breathe it in or whatever. And she realized that she was like disgusted, like she couldn't even inhale. And she just dropped it. And since that time, she never smoked again. She had no side effect whatsoever. Because, like when you stop smoking, you gain weight, blah, 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 you get depressed, or like all the side effects.
Get nervous and agitated.
Agitated, anxiety. No side effect whatsoever. This is smoking 20 years of 2 packs a day.
Oh,
and her skin cleared up because people said, whatever. I don't know, So anyway, this was literally in one workshop, in one class, like one session. So it's not crazy to think that this is, and then other people stopped drinking also after 20 years, completely stopped drinking without any side effect. So because you are addressing the root cause, it's not a band-aid. You went back to that. So anyway, I just wanted to share this with you for you to know that this is possible, especially for you. So let's go ahead and get started. What's your mom's name?
Marge.
Marge.
Her name is
Okay, here we go. Sit up straight. Everybody focus on the person you'd like to help out. Sit up straight with your feet flat on the floor and close your eyes. And let's take a deep breath in through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. And again, deep breath in through the nose. As you exhale through the mouth, quiet your thoughts, quiet your mind. Bring your focus to your heart, to this moment in time. And again, breathe in through the nose, deep, deep breath. Exhale through the mouth and let go of the tension, the stress. Release the tension in your neck, your shoulders. Your head one more time. Breathe in through the nose. As you exhale through the mouth, bring your focus to your heart and say quietly in your mind, I ask and intend to create a sacred space. I ask to let go of all the distracting thoughts, distracting information, distracting energy. My intent is to be the surrogate for, say the name of the person, in the case of Jessica, for Marge, and to allow the healing that she needs to happen now. Breathe in through the nose. As you exhale through the mouth, from the heart, expand 360 degrees. Put yourself in a bubble of light. Set your intention again that your personal stuff will not interfere or be in the way at this time, while at the same time you will clear the patterns that are relevant to the dynamic between you two. Breathe in through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Visualize that from your higher self, not your human self, the outer layer of your energy field is kind of creating a pathway and merging with the higher self of your mother. In your case, for others, you're merging with the higher self of the person you are trying to help. So bring your focus back to your heart and say quietly to your mind, I ask and intend to release my feeling and belief that I have lost my will to live at the age of 45. I ask to release this feeling and belief from every cell in my lungs, in my throat, in my brain, in my skull. Breathe in through the nose. As you exhale through the mouth, imagine particles of energy leaving your body, especially the brain, especially the skull. Focus on the lungs. Now, I don't know if her husband died then or something, but there's a connection with a deceased partner. Focus on the lungs and say, I ask and intend to release the feeling and belief that I want to go join my husband, brother from a past and parallel life. I ask to release this belief that it's time for me to go at the age of 45, 43, 42, and go back to 27, 23. Stop at 23, breathe in. As you exhale, release that information, the particles of energy from the lungs, from the brain. At the age of 23, say, I ask and intend to release my feeling and belief that I will not be loved by any man in this lifetime. I ask to release my feeling and belief that I don't exist. I'm invisible to men, that I'm not worthy of love. I ask to release this feeling and belief from every cell in my lungs, my throat, my stomach, again, my lungs, from every cell in my throat and my lungs, from my conscious, subconscious, and cellular memory. Breathe in. As you exhale, visualize these particles of energy just leaving your body. Focus on your brain and your skull. Say, I ask and intend to release my feeling and belief that I am not worthy of living in this body with this addiction. I ask to let go of this feeling and belief from every cell in my throat, my lungs, my esophagus, digestive system, my throat again, my lungs, and breathe in through the nose. As you exhale through the mouth, bring your focus to your knees and your feet and say, I ask and intend to release my feeling and belief that I was brought in here at the wrong time with the wrong attributes, that it's very hard to maintain this physical form. I ask to let go of this belief from every cell in my knees, my feet, my conscious, subconscious, and cellular memory. Breathe in. As you exhale, again, visualize particles of energy just leaving your body, leaving your feet, leaving your lower back, your spine, your shoulders, especially the throat and the esophagus. Excuse me. Okay, here we go. That's your dad. I ask and intend to release my father's frequency of confusion, lack of direction in his life. I ask to release my father's frequency of being so lost. I ask to release the frequency of addiction of alcohol in my father's frequency. I ask to release the frequency of addiction as a way to cope from every cell in my body. I ask to release my father's frequency of alcoholism. My brother. I ask to release my father's frequency from every cell in my body. My liver, my spine, my skull, my conscious, subconscious, and cellular memory. Breathe in. As you exhale, again, imagine a bunch of particles coming out of your body, coming out of your skull, coming out of your spine, especially the skull, your hands, all kinds of stuff is coming out. Okay, here we go. I did mention that addictions usually come from attachments, but here's the trigger, the biggest one. Focus on your lungs and say, I ask and intend to release the attachment of this entity at the age of 17 from every cell in my lungs. Every cell in my throat. I ask to release the frequency and the energy of this entity once and for all from every cell in my body. I ask to release the belief, the subconscious belief, that I have invited this entity to feel fulfilled, to feel filled with interest, with attention, rather than feeling empty and alone. I am now reversing, letting go, deleting the belief system that I can attract, that I want to attract, that I did attract. The frequency and the energy of an entity to latch on to mine so that I can feel the connection with any entity rather than being alone. I am letting go of this belief system once and for all. From my conscious, my subconscious, and my cellular memory. Breathe in. As you exhale, again, visualize this energy just leaving. There you go. It's in your throat and your lungs. Take your time. Yeah, it's all there. And visualize this energy just leaving your body, kind of detaching, especially the throat. Take it out, take it out. It's still in the throat. I mean, focus back on your throat and your skull and your brain. Say, I ask Tend to release the feeling and belief that I am doomed because of the family patterns, that I'm genetically predisposed and will probably end up like them. I am ready to let go, erase, and delete this belief system that I am genetically doomed to manifest the same outcome as my family. I am letting go of this genetic programming from every cell in my throat, in my brain, in my skull, in my body, my conscious, subconscious, and cellular memory. Breathe in. As you exhale, visualize this white and yellow light. Now, this is the energy of kind of rejuvenation, like you're starting over with a new energy. So visualize this white and yellow light coming through the top of your head and through your back, at the same time through your spine. As if you were absorbing this light, again, always setting the intention that you are absorbing light, which is information. This information is going into your cells and therefore reprogramming the cells with this new information in the form of light. And the cells are now receiving this new information that I can rejuvenate, that I can change the timeline, that I can start over a new chapter moving forward. So, with that intention, with this visualization, continue to absorb this white and yellow light, especially your spine, especially your skull. All this information is coming through and being absorbed. Going deeper and deeper into every cell in your body. And as you're doing that, visualize on the effect that is clarifying, healing. It's like it's dissolving the old pattern. It's like it's just like oxygen. When you put oxygen, you bombard a virus with this oxygen. It's like the oxygen just dissolves, like it cannot even exist. So visualize this very bright white and yellow light going deeper and deeper, dissolving the old patterns, healing, clearing, clarifying. Visualize it everywhere, going into your lungs, in your throat, up through your jaw into your head and your brain, through every cell in your brain, and down through your shoulders into your arms to the tip of your fingers, and down from the lungs, filling every cell in the lungs. Go through the stomach, the liver, the pancreas, the digestive system, digestive tract, the groin area, the lower back, the thighs, knees, feet. Now visualize this light filling every single cell in your body from head to toe and to the tip of your fingers. Sit there and allow yourself to absorb this white and yellow light, always with the intention that you are dissolving naturally the old patterns and your cells are reprogramming with this new pattern, this new programming that says, I can rejuvenate. I am deciding, intending, and wanting to change course and to begin to manifest my reality on a new timeline. Visualize yourself kind of getting to a point where like a wall, and then you just feel this energy in your body, and then you basically take a right turn. It's like in diagonal. Make a right turn diagonally and visualize this path. Begin to visualize yourself walking on this new path, which is all light, which is all bright, with the intention, today, I am making the conscious decision to start my new path on a new timeline. Continue walking, make that turn to the right diagonally and keep walking. And say, this is my new path to health, to freedom, to success to the mastery of the physical world. Continue to visualize this path going forward, and it's so bright. Visualize yourself at the end of this timeline. You are so light. You're surrounded with light. You are light. You are brilliant. Your body is totally made of light. It is so pure. It is so clean. And you feel amazing. You feel strong, healthy, connected. You feel whole. You feel complete. You feel filled with this energy of peace. Again, connection with who you are. It's like the real you. It's like your true essence in physical form. And you feel very empowered. More importantly, you are filled and you emanate unconditional love to yourself and to the world around you. As you can hold that vision, say quietly in your mind, I want this. I choose this. I am done with the old pattern of victimhood, suffering, and karmic drama. That is not me. I chose to experience it for whatever reason. The new me is where I'm headed. This is who I really am. This is what I want to express in physical form. A healthy body, consciousness, awareness, filled with vitality, abundance, freedom, peace, connection with who I am, with the divine. Always emanating unconditional love. Breathe in through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Bring your focus back to your heart. Take your time. Continue to visualize this path and continue to feel that energy in your body, around your body, as if you're soaking in it. And even though we're coming back, let's intend that this work that we started today will continue spontaneously, effortlessly. Even as we stop the meditation now, it will, the energetics of what we did will not stop and will manifest in physical form. And slowly, whenever you're ready, bring your focus back to your heart and open your eyes.
Wow. That was powerful. It's very powerful. I feel very solid. I don't think I've ever felt so solid. I appreciate that a lot.
That's how you have to feel every day. So every time you're off, you have to bring yourself back to this place. I don't know if you related to any of the stuff I said, but you do? Okay, your dad? Okay, but anyway, the point is moving forward. So now you were going in this direction with the old belief system, with the old pattern, but now we changed. Okay, we changed direction and we're going in a new direction. I got you to the point where you just passed, the curve. You're not before the curve. You've already made the turn. So now you just have to keep forward. So now you have to keep that momentum. So I want you to do the connecting to source and this meditation. I don't want you to do the end. I mean, the beginning. I want you to do the end of it where you made the turn. So I don't know if you can just go directly to that point. Every single day, non-stop, for at least, I want to say 23 days, with the intention, this is getting me one step further on the new path, on the new path, on the new path. Okay. Every single day. In fact, morning and evening, because it's only 7 minutes, so it's not like so difficult. And with this intention,
I try to make a habit out of doing. I tried to make a habit out of doing the connecting to source twice a day when I wake up and then when I go to bed.
Perfect. So now add this little piece with the intention. I want to continue building on that momentum that I did with Caroline. And so that's kind of where we did a lot of clearing for you, because it's all the dynamic. In terms of your mother, I feel like that helped her a lot to release the patterns, but I feel like she's telling me that it's easier for her to leave and to help you. Like, I feel like she wants to stay in your life, but she'll be more effective, if she comes back in this way. So, I mean, I understand that this may sound not so good, from a human perspective, but from a soul perspective, like from just as I'm looking at her, it just feels like there's so much momentum. It's like so much harder for her. This is where she's at today, but she says, you've helped me a lot, because now, even if that is the path that she chooses, she's taking a lot less with her, because, the stuff that we don't resolve here, we have to resolve. We have to keep resolving. It's not like because your consciousness doesn't die.
Right. So I feel like she's got a lot of grief and sadness in her chest and in her heart. And there's not much I can do about that. She's got to work on that herself. And I know that spiritually, that's really strange you said that, because I had a feeling the other day. I was thinking about my mom. Just something kept telling me that she wanted to be more helpful from the other side, which is really weird, because I thought, what a weird thought. And then you just repeated that. So that's really neat. Thank you.
There you go. So you're already getting the guidance, and I'm confirming. Now, having said that, yeah, I know it's not easy. It's not fun. It's, there's a lot to work through. But again, you try to look at it from the much bigger perspective, like a bird's eye view. And from a soul purpose, she chose her path, and I feel like, right now this is where she's at. We can look at it a little bit later and see if she changed her mind and she wants to join you on your timeline. But I feel like it was important, because whatever we did, like I said, helped her clear a huge chunk that she's no longer taking with her. So, I see a lot of stuff like this sometimes where somebody is like about to pass or something. I'm not saying she is today. I'm just saying in general. And the family or everybody wants them to come back. They don't want them to leave. But we're not really thinking about what they want. That's number one. But also, so and they're just kind of hanging on, waiting for the one thing to clear. There's this one person I worked with. She had stage 4 cancer, And she was hanging on and doing all kinds of stuff, and like it was taking forever. Everybody was suffering in her family, and she had two little girls. I mean, like 1.5 years and 3 years old. I mean, that's like heartbreaking. So everybody was devastated. The husband, and but then as I was working with her, she was trying to kind of stay, because but then, at one point it was like, but my soul wants to come back this way or whatever, but she couldn't let go. Like she couldn't, it wasn't working. So once she made the decision, I had to clear one thing, which is her guilt towards the one daughter. The other daughter was more kind of came to terms with it. And the second I did that, she left. So what I'm saying is sometimes they stick around because there's a lot of things to work through, and they can't let go. They can't go. So they're suffering. Everybody else is suffering. So I know it's hard, but just see if you can look at it from her choice and her soul journey, and then you do your work, and then we'll see what happens. She could still change her mind, but this is what I feel right now.
I agree. I agree. Thank you so
Okay.
much for all your help.
So you know what to do?
I do. I do. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Let us know how you're doing. And like when you're done with this, like 3 weeks time or something like that.
Okay. I will. I will. Thank you.
Amazing. Amazing. All right, you guys, there you have it. Again, your situation may be different, but that surrogate healing works. Whatever you did today must have helped you, but also that person. For those who are interested in understanding more the mechanics, go to carolinecory.com, look at the Healers Program. I have tons of free stuff as well, so on my YouTube channel. So make sure you subscribe so that you can keep receiving these free clearing sessions, and how you are creating stuff without you even knowing it. But more importantly, what you need to do to get over something forever, once and for all. Otherwise, it will continue to be just a band-aid, feeling better, which is fine. But then eventually, if you don't want it to just keep catching up with you, you have to go back to that root cause. So I hope this was helpful. I think this was a huge, huge service that Jessica brought to us, because you have no idea. I mean, I have hundreds and hundreds of people who email me all the time, struggling with the problem and the question of addiction. So this is very common. Don't feel bad. Don't feel embarrassed. And I'm just here to help. All right. And I would say just give it a try. Just to really give it a try. And you will, again, working with so many people many years, because we see an immediate result every time. Give it a try and see what happens. And hopefully this will be helpful to you moving forward, and to bring clarity to what you should be doing next. Okay. Thanks so much. And I hope you feel better, you feel good. And I send everyone all my love. Take care, and I will see you next time. Thanks so much.